Although there is 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out next year, realistically, only one of them is important on a cosmic multiversal saga threat, being the Fantastic Four movie, because we're in a multiversal saga. Sure, Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts may have tiny connective tissue to potentially form in the new Avengers. Realistically, the Fantastic Four movie is the only movie that really matters when it comes to the overall narrative of setting up Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. So in today's video, we're going to go over some crazy, insane leaks, because we actually have got some real leaked images that we can't show for obvious reasons on YouTube. And there is some pretty interesting leaks and rumors going around that could be true. And since Galactus is in this movie, also Molecule Man, and also allegedly Robert Downey Jr., we know this movie is going to have massive ramifications for the multiversal saga going forward. Franklin Richards is in this movie. Well, will be one of the strongest MCU characters ever if they're going to do him properly. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? What you have? You're new around it. What the freaking hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that we cover on a daily basis if you could. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking excited are you for the future of the MCU, even if it's not the Fantastic Four movie. Although we know the Fantastic Four movie is going to have to be pinnacle to everything going forward, because Dr. Doom is predominantly Fantastic Four villain. So he's going to have to show up in this movie somehow, even if it's only in a variation of a post-credit scene. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also check us out on Twitter, WashtuG. Right, let's get into this video. So we're going to go over a bunch of information. The first information is coming from a recent article from the Cosmic Circus from, you know it, Alex Perez. Had some words to say when asked some questions about the Fantastic Four. And seeing as that's the big tentpole movie, well, realistically, every movie Marvel's releasing next year is a tentpole movie, but it's the big one. We'll go over what he had to say. Then we'll go over a bunch of other stuff, because it's very interesting how this movie is going to tie into everything else going forward. So he was asked this question: will Dr. Doom have any role in the Fantastic Four movie, like a reference or perhaps presence being felt, or can we really not expect anything more than a post-credit scene? Alex Perez, I can't comment on that just yet. Now, why I like Alex Perez is he just says what he's heard, doesn't make anything up, doesn't come out with scoops. If it is a theory, he literally tells you, yo, this is a theory. So that's why I think it's always interesting to go over what he said. So he was asked another question. We know Galactus will be the main villain in the Fantastic Four, but will there be any other big name from the Fantastic Four rogue galaxy appear, i.e. Molecule Man, Namor, or Nisus? Alex said this: funny enough, the film first act has a sort of rapid montage of the Fantastic Four going up against multiple low-level villains from their repertoire of rogues. Molecule Man is one of them. Now, this is interesting because the Molecule Man has actually been rumored to be in this movie for such a long time. So that's interesting that he's kind of confirming it. Because that's another question. Since you said after Secret Wars, there will be a soft reboot of sorts, does that mean characters like the Fantastic Four and X-Men will merge into the main timeline? If so, will their history be retconned into the timeline, or will they essentially be foreigners thrust into a new land? I don't really understand how it's going to work just yet. I think it's going to just be a new continuity and new iteration of the universe where it all starts from scratch, but not really. Like, if I had to explain it, what I was told previous, it's like nothing happened and they will continue on with their own lives. But something did happen, a new iteration on the multiverse exists, and some changes will be added in which will have ramifications later on. I wouldn't be surprised if no one remembered what happened except a few characters like Doctor Strange and Deadpool. So that's all Alex Perez had to say on this matter for this part, which is interesting. So we've also got some other information, which is actually pretty big. So the source is the GeekyCast. Check him out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all over the place. Very reliable source. The Fantastic Four will make their way over to the sacred timeline by using dimensional travel, not time travel as previously reported. Dimensional travel. That's very interesting. So we know that based on this and based on lots of other rumors, the movie is not predominantly going to be in the sacred timeline 616, but essentially the Fantastic Four will be in the sacred timeline at some parts of the movie, if everything going around is understood. So there is this scoop going around. Like as I said, we're going to cover everything going forward, regardless who says it. If they call themselves a scooper, we'll cover it because it's just more fun that way. And let's be honest, over the years, as we've learned, Reddit is the most reliable source anyway. So the Fantastic Four First Steps ends with the team meeting the TVA and learning the multiverse is dying. Now, we already know this is going to be the case because before we get to Secret Wars, we're going to have an incursion and everything's going to have to merge into Battleworld or some variations or cadence of that. Let's continue. The TVA wants the Fantastic Four to help them build a space raft, aka an ark, to round up anchor beings and prepare for the end of the multiverse. Now, we know they kind of introduced anchor beings in Deadpool and Wolverine, although they broke the rules they set up, because they're like, yo, Logan in the future, because he died, that caused his universe to be wiped out, but because of what happened in Deadpool and Wolverine, a different Wolverine is now their anchor. So the anchor beings continuity and how they set up was pretty darn weak, if you ask me. Their current universe is not destroyed. Interesting. Marvel plans to have Doctor Doom appear in some sort of capacity in the movie. Could be a post-credit scene. Interesting. Because as soon as RDJ was announced to be playing and starring in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, every scooper in the world automatically had some kind of scoop there was going to be a post-credit scene with Doctor Doom in it. It would make sense. But then again, it wouldn't make sense. Because we know, based on the information, that Robert Downey Jr. is basically the star of Avengers Doomsday, and he's going to be shooting the movie a lot more than anyone else will be shooting the movie. So, and they're going to have some kind of introduction to who he is, because if you don't read comics or if you haven't seen the Fox universe variation of Fantastic Four and Doom, they don't want you to think it's the same version. So just like the Fantastic Four is going to get an origin in this movie, it would make sense. But we know in the multiversal saga, Doctor Doom is not a Fantastic Four villain. He's an Avengers villain. So does he have to appear in this movie? No. Would it be cool if he did? Yes. Would he make a lot more money if he did? Yes, he would. But at San Diego Comic-Con back in July, they only realistically said that he was appearing in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and every other scooper under the sun has now said he's going to be in the Fantastic Four. He's going to be in Spider-Man 4. He's going to be in Doctor Strange 3. He's literally going to appear in every single movie in the world until it comes out, including Captain America 4, The Thunderbolt. Yeah, he's going to be in every single movie. I really don't believe that, because if you've seen how much he got paid for the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, when he appeared in that movie, got paid a freaking lot of money, but he was barely in it. So that would be interesting. So there's some information going around the internet that has got some people seeming to think there's going to be a time jump between the Fantastic Four movie and Avengers Doomsday. I don't buy into that. Realistically, regardless to where the Fantastic Four movie ends, it's going to have to start in the past, i.e. if you look at the leaked footage, kind of looks like a retro feel, futuristic feel almost. But it looks like they're from the 60s. I don't believe there's going to be a massive time jump. Even if there is a time jump from the Fantastic Four movie to Avengers Doomsday, if it's going to be a prequel movie that's set in the past partially, that still doesn't make it a time jump. So, Franklin Richards will reportedly have a major role in Avengers Doomsday. At this point, who won't have a major role in this movie? Marvel looking for a 10 to 13-year-old for this role and will appear in the Fantastic Four, but will be much younger. But if you go by set photos, we see Susie Storm with what appears to be, it's not very clear, to have baby Franklin Richards in her arms. So Franklin will also appear in the Fantastic Four movie, but he will be 4. So people seem to think there's going to be a huge time jump, but that doesn't mean it's an MCU time jump. The Fantastic Four movie is not set in the current day, it's set in the past, partially from what we understand. So if they're looking for an actor around the age of 10 to 13 for the role for Avengers 5, and the Franklin Richards apparently is going to be 4 in the Fantastic Four movie. Doesn't mean a time jump, lads. Kind of like understand what the freaking hell you're on about. So we've had some leaked set photos. Obviously we can't go into details because of YouTube. And there's one scene where we see Vanessa Kirby with new short hair as Susie Storm during the showing. I say leaked. It was leaked because it's not officially been released. It was shown at D23, but because of how the YouTubes work with copyright claims, I can't show it here. Although I want to show it here, I can't actually show it here. But it does look pretty interesting from the images. Looks really similar to the fan-made trailer that Screen Culture made, to be fair. Very futuristic. Basically looks similar to the footage that was shown ages ago. When Marvel officially, I mean, it's a summer movie. That's the reason why we haven't had the Superman movie trailer either. It doesn't come out till the summer. Bit too early. Companies generally don't promote movies way like 7 months ahead of time anymore. So hopefully we get the actual Fantastic Four trailer sometime around Christmas or early 2025. So like always, lads, what do you think about all this new information going around about the Fantastic Four? Do you want Doctor Doom to appear? I'm freaking hyped for the Fantastic Four movie. To be fair, it's got a slap as pretty much every other version of it has flopped, or, you know, the Fox Universe versions of the Fantastic Four were never good, were they, lads? No, they weren't. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.